So much media, so little time. Who keeps track of it all? That would be me. This is Bob Andelman, and this is Mr. Media Interview. You know, MrMedia.com, MRmedia.com. Brought to you today on iPhones, Palm, Android, and BlackBerry by the Stitcher app for mobile devices. Mr. Media is also sponsored by thepartyauthority.us. Planning a wedding, mitzvah, or corporate event? For any and all occasions, call the Party Authority nationwide at 1-800-DIAL-DJs. That's 1-800-342-5357. One call does it all. Where was I before the commercial? Oh yeah, Mr. Media is recorded live from the new media capital of the world and hometown of Bill Kaysen, creator of Foursquare Day, Tampa Bay, Florida. There are a handful of people that social media aficionados and professionals follow religiously for their insight and direction. People such as Chris Brogan and Robert Scoble, for example. If you know who those guys are, you should probably also get to know Peter Shankman, if you don't already. Shankman is an industry unto himself, a networker of the first degree who has taken the practice of public relations and marketing online to new heights via his mastery of social media. He is best known in journalism circles as the founder of Help a Reporter Out, aka HARO. It's a repository of expert sources intended to help out last-minute reporting assignments. Journalists send information reports into HARO. More than 1,200 requests come in a week, and Shankman hooks them up. You can check out HARO at helpareporter.com or on Twitter at helpareporter. Now, Shankman also is the founder and CEO of The Geek Factory, a Manhattan-based marketing and PR strategy firm. Over the years, his clients have included Snapple, NASA, Walt Disney World, and many more. Now, here's a clip of Shankman in action from Roger Smith News' A Day in the Life clickable documentary, and you can watch the whole thing on YouTube. Oh, all right. Actually, I'm just being told that we do not have that video. So, Peter, I hope you're ready for me. Welcome to Mr. Media.
Good to be here. Thank you.
My pleasure. Glad to have you. So, Peter, this whole internet thing, it's like over now, right?
You know, I last time I checked, people were still using paper and pen. It's who knew, right? We never expected that to happen.
I think I have a pen here. Here's a pen. Here's a paper though. Is it okay if I use one of my little SpongeBob SquarePants notes? Because that's all I have in the way of paper.
Go for it. Knock yourself out.
You know, we're so eager. It's such a fast-changing world these days. We're so eager to declare what the new hot thing is and what is over. I imagine there's people out there who are just dying to say that the internet is dead at some point.
You know, I think that's the biggest problem is that people say the internet's dead and they let go of everything they've already learned. Like, we spent, I don't know about you, but I started learning how to write and how to read and all that stuff in, like, kindergarten, probably nursery school. And the internet comes around and everyone says, oh, forget writing. It's all going to be, you know, digital and forget paper. And last I checked, when I went to the bank today to deposit a check, I had to write my account number. I didn't scan my retinas or anything like that. So I think the people that proclaim anything to be dead always need to check and see, hey, you know, is it really that dead? I mean, even the pundits were jumping about newspapers dying and things like that. You know, I don't know about you, but when I open my hotel room door every morning, there's no iPad in front of my hotel room door.
Oh, if only there were.
And let me tell you, when I check in, I ask for an iPad the next morning in front of my hotel room door, and yet it's still USA Today. It's not an iPad. So I think that, you know, we're sitting there and we're saying, oh, there are people who are saying, oh, it's going to end and get rid of newspapers and get rid of learning how to write. It's all going to be online. And that's BS. Everything that happens in the future and happens today with Twitter and Facebook and LinkedIn and Google it's just in addition to what we've already learned. And that's the biggest mistake that people make, I think.
I think we've seen. I mean, if people have any sense of history with regard to the media, I mean, we had movies and then radio, or radio and movies, and TV came along, and people thought it would kill radio. It just morphed into something else, and cable TV was supposed to kill broadcast TV. Again, it's just morphed into something else.
And hey, not for nothing, but every morning at 4:30 in the morning or 6 a.m. when I'm back from my run and I'm jumping in the shower, I don't turn on my laptop in the shower. I turn on my waterproof radio and get 10 wins and hear my news. It's what works for the people who are using it, and we can't forget that.
I know the big thing that I'm very attached to now. This show was added to the Stitcher app, which we mentioned as a sponsor at the top of the show, and I didn't know that much about it. And now, whenever I walk the dogs or I'm in the car, if I'm not listening to Sirius, I'm listening to something on Stitcher. I've favorited all the shows that I like. Rachel Maddow and the Mike O'Mara Show and Chelsea Lately, and I check to make sure this show is running properly. And it's not. It's still radio. It's still entertainment. It's just I'm just getting it in a different form.
Different worlds. Nothing changes. Different worlds.
Well, let's do a little word association. I'm kind of curious to get your response on this, and you can give me a word or a couple sentences about these, and just whatever comes to mind, if you would.
Okay.
Let's start with the biggie: Facebook,
Twitter,
Twitter,
Google.
What about MySpace?
14-year-old boys and independent bands.
Pretty much didn't grow out of its infancy, did it?
You know what? A lot of times the first ones to market that really clear the path are the ones that get overrun.
Would you say, looking back, that Rupert Murdoch bet right or wrong on that?
I don't think. What did he pay? $500 million for that?
I think it was 6 something, but yeah, that's close.
He gives more as a tip to a stripper. I'm not really concerned about that.
Is that
$600 million for Rupert Murdoch.
Is that a particular stripper?
Seriously, he's like, damn it! I should have had the steak instead of the fish. And it's for the $600 million he paid for that, that's not a big deal for him.
Okay, let's try a couple more here. I'm enjoying this. What about Google Buzz? What do you make of that?
Mistake.
Yeah.
I think that it was a great idea, but it was Google for the first time ever believed their own hype. They have a stock price of, I think it's 84 kachillion megajoules per share or something like that, and they said, oh, well, we can launch Google Buzz, and it's not done yet, and it's not ready, but it's okay. It'll be fine. And they got bitten for it, and they learned a lesson. Of course, then they learned the same lesson with Google Wave, so maybe they learned 2 lessons.
I think you were reading my mind, because I was thinking that maybe Google Wave was the first time. I still I can't, and I love Google products. I mean, the MrMedia.com is produced on Blogger, and we went through the migration with them, and I'm a big fan of FeedBurner and Gmail. I teach a social media class for beginners, and I make sure that all the students get a Gmail account, and we take them through the processes. But for the life of me, I can't explain Google Wave in a sentence, or Google Buzz. Well, Google Buzz maybe, but
I can only imagine that they have so many things they've done well that every once in a while they get these ideas where they're like, it's like Friday at like 4:30, and they're like, oh, what the hell, and that's what those ideas wind up being.